Okay, hello there. Hello, Bright Hope. This is Pastor Jeremy Shank with Bright Hope BIC. I just want to welcome and thank you for tuning in to our announcements this week of April 28th. I do know that today is actually Wednesday, April 29th, but we usually post the announcements Tuesday. We're just a little behind this week, but I wanted to welcome you. Thank you for tuning in. Just a few announcements for you this afternoon. We're a loving community pursuing grace, truth, and hope in Jesus, and we want to do our best to reach out and to continue to communicate even during this time of limited communication. I want to say just a big thank you to our church family. I know so many of you are praying for each other. I know so many of you are reaching out to neighbors and others who are lonely. And I just know that many of you are seeking to be a blessing to others. And I think that really pleases God's heart. I also want to remind you to check out our newsletter. We've been kind of flip-flopping terms between electronic bulletin and newsletter. We're simply calling it the newsletter now. So we have an electronic newsletter. It's kind of essentially takes the place of the paper bulletin that we were using when we were meeting face-to-face. And so in this time in between times, one of the things that you can do is on Thursdays, you will receive an email with the newsletter in it, and you will also be able to see in the other announcement video I posted yesterday where you can actually go online and get the newsletter. So I encourage you to check that out. I also want to thank you for your generosity as a church to one another and your generosity to those in need. I want to thank you for continuing to partner in the mission and in the work that God has for us here. So I just encourage you to continue to seek to do good during this time and continue to reach out to others. And during today's announcements, I want to cover a few things. I really want to continue to stay connected to you guys. I miss seeing you, and I know you miss seeing one another. And we all miss worshiping together as a large group, but we're doing the best we can right now to continue to keep you connected and trying to encourage you. And we continue to pray for one another. There's just a number of ways that you can connect with us, and so we're going to go through a few of those ways during these announcements. We're not going to focus as much on the website, but we'll mention it for a couple of slides here, and again, I encourage you to tune into the video that really kind of walks you through the entire site. So our new website is BHBIC, that stands for Bright Hope Brethren in Christ. That's the name of our church. Bright Hope Fellowship is part of the BIC.com. So this is our new website. You can simply type it in there, bookmark it. That is our page. And I just want to note a couple of things. I know that you can't quite see the home page in detail here. You will see it on the other video. But on our home page there, I would like, there's a video on our website. On our home page here, you'll notice that there are some buttons near the top on the right. One of the buttons is a YouTube channel button, so I encourage you to click that because you will get to our Bright Hope Church YouTube channel. That's where the live streams are being posted at this point. We are continuing to post things on Facebook, but over time I do see YouTube being probably the more major place where we make sure we get all of our videos, but we're just kind of beginning that process now. So in any case, the YouTube channel is a great place to go to be able to view the videos, either past recordings or past live videos, different things that we'll be doing over time. And you'll be able to see more as we create them and put them on the channel there. But when you're on the channel, I encourage you to subscribe to it. And if you're the kind of person that likes to set notifications on YouTube channels, I know some who do, I encourage you to set notifications there for it, because then whenever we do upload a new announcement video, you'll be able to see that there right on YouTube without needing a Facebook account or anything. We still have our Facebook page, and we're going to continue to utilize that. I know that Facebook, the Bright Hope Facebook page, has probably been our primary way of communicating online. We have a couple of different Facebook pages there, and we have a main one and a couple of other ones. But really now what we're starting to move towards is really having the website be our hub online. So we're going to continue to make use of Facebook, but I encourage you to check out our website, and again, check out that video. And if you haven't already, go to our Facebook page and click like, and follow us, and then you'll be able to get the updates as they come along. So we continue to have our weekly worship. That's a live stream at 10:30. And one of the things we've done for a number of weeks is we were actually uploading the live stream right at 10:30. And we did realize that in a number of weeks we were having trouble uploading things adequately. So what we're starting to do, especially in this time in between times where there's nothing that's normal, is we're trying to get stuff set up for you guys so that when you do go on, you will see a link pop up at 10:30 with the stream, and you will be able to participate and engage in that. So I continue to encourage you to check that out. Again, you can get to that by going to our homepage, clicking the YouTube icon, and then you will see the stream pop up there on YouTube. So I encourage you to take a look at that. It will also be posted on the Facebook page for now, but I'd encourage you to start checking out the YouTube a little more often. So our YouTube channel, I actually went ahead and put the entire address in this presentation for you. You'll probably never actually see it like that again, because the main way you will get there is just going through our home page on the internet there. But that's essentially how you get to our YouTube channel, and that's where our Facebook page is. So I continue to encourage you to connect with one another and be able to receive updates and different things that we post during the week on those places. One of the ways that we like to stay connected is through text messages as well as emails, and there are times that we call as well. So if you are not getting updates or you're kind of feeling out of the loop, please make sure you get us your contact information. You can actually do that on the church website. Just click the contact us icon, and it'll just ask for your name, number, and email, and then that way we will be able to get you on the list there. So I encourage you to make use of that, and if you get us that information, then we can start getting you involved in some of the streams of communication that are going on. During this time, we miss each other a whole lot, and the live streams, the good thing about them is it reminds us of where we've been together, but we get to tune into our church, and we get to tune into what we're doing every week, and be connected with that, and that's a really good thing. And I'm so thankful to the audiovisual team and to the worship arts and just everybody making that happen. It's a big deal. But there's other things that we've liked to do even before this began, is we had these smaller groups. One of them was an adult learning community, a couple were different kinds of life groups, small groups. We had a couple of classes. But right now, of course, not being able to meet face to face, we've continued to seek to connect. And so I encourage you to reach out and connect with a couple of the groups that we still have going. And these groups are going online, and hopefully over time that will become an increasing capability for more and more groups. But right now we do have a couple of groups that are already up and running. One of those, actually 3 different groups. One of those is a youth group. They were using Google Meet. They have begun using Zoom. And so they connect Monday evenings at 6:30, and Andrew connects in with the students, and they're just able to have some teaching, have some fun, and just be able to connect in a safe way there through Zoom. So if you have a teenager or a student who wants to be a part of that, please connect with Andrew. His contact information is on this slide, his voice and text, as well as his email address. But that information will be up again on a later slide soon. Also, another one of our groups is a prayer meeting. We really believe that God is the greatest mover and shaker that there is. He's the one who's made us. He's the one who's rescued and redeemed us. And so many of us have experienced healing. And I'm just so thankful for the healing that I know many people in our church family continue to receive from God. But we continue to pray and we continue to thank Him. We continue to lift up new requests to Him. So if you have a prayer request and you want to get that in, use the contact information I'm sharing with you now to get that into us so we can update our prayer lists. We continue to make updates to those. We continue to pray together for those. If you've been a part of our prayer meetings recently, you will be getting shortly the codes to be able to get in to that prayer meeting tonight at 7. Since we're doing this stream Wednesday afternoon, the prayer meeting will be tonight, actually at 7. So you will be able to dial in with those codes. But I cannot post them online because they are private codes. So I encourage you, if you're interested in this, reach out to me. This is my text number, the 500-3938. Those of you who have the other number, you're certainly free to send a text to that number as well. Yeah, please just let me know if you'd like to be a part of that, and especially if you haven't been a part of that for a while, let me know, and I'll try to make sure I get you in on the list for the codes there. But it's just a great way because we can actually see each other through Zoom. We can talk with each other, listen to each other, encourage one another, and it's just a great opportunity that we have to be able to at least have a little bit more of a connection than only on the phone, kind of a thing. So it gives us just a little bit more that way. If you are intimidated in terms of Zoom or using an app, the connection information that you get there actually is a way to simply dial digits on your phone. You can get into the Zoom meeting actually from just a normal landline if you really wanted to. I don't even know who has landlines anymore. But anyways, you can connect either through phone or through Zoom. And the same goes not only for the prayer meeting, but also for our Sunday night group called The Way. That's our adult learning community. And so we continue to seek to be very serious about following Jesus in the midst of our current times. And so we have questions and different subjects people raise, and we connect over Zoom face to face, where we're able to share. I'm able to share some teaching through the platform that Zoom allows me to be able to do there. It's a little bit unique compared to some of these other meeting platforms online, but we're able to connect there and really just have a lot of engagement together over the scriptures. And what happens is we're really trying to reframe the way we think about things in light of who Jesus is, what He has said, and what it is He cares about. So it's not about Jeremy's agenda, it's not about anybody's agenda as much as it is about, hey, this is what Christ says, this is how Christ lived, and so how do we, in light of that, think about some of these topics? And these are things that we flesh out together and we wrestle with together. And sometimes we don't come away with answers, but I think it helps us grow in our thinking and grow in our engagement with all of this. We do have also, so those are some of our groups that are still meeting, and if you are part of a group or you want help as a group being able to connect this way online, I would definitely love to be able to serve you and help you do that. So please reach out to me. And I'm going to move into now some of another way to connect with us. So here's our contact information. I know that I've shared this with you before, but I think on the screen in some of the earlier videos it was just a little bit too small, so I wanted to make it clear. So my phone numbers have stayed the same. The text-only line is the same. The voice and text line is the same, but the email actually is new. If you keep using, I would ask that you start using this new email address. Those of you with the old one, in this first week or two, if you kind of forget and keep using the old one, that's really not as big of a deal. But try to switch over to this new email as soon as you can and just add that into your contacts there. It is pastor@bhbic.com. And you will also see for our office that, yes, the church voicemail number is still the same, and especially with us all working off-site almost all the time now. that really is a voicemail only number at this point. But in any case, her email is now updated as well. It is office@bhbic.com. So I encourage you again to replace that in your contact books, in your contacts, and be able to get that updated. She will be able to receive emails at the old address for another week or so, but really try to switch over as soon as you can to this new email. And then finally with Andrew, and I told you his contact information would be up again. His voice and text number is the same, but the email is new. So again, you want to start using this email as opposed to the one that you had prior. This will be the main way in terms of email, in terms of getting in touch with our NextGen directors. So please take that down. That's nextgen@bhbic.com. So those are just a host of ways for you to continue to stay connected with us, and we're encouraging you guys to be proactive. I know I find myself on the phone quite a bit with just different people, and so if you are just, hey, I'm longing for a call from Jeremy, call me, all right? My number is right here, okay? So you've got that. Feel free to give me a call. If I don't pick up, please leave a voicemail or please leave a text message. And yes, I will get back to you, and we can connect. I really do want to connect with you guys. I'm totally open to Google Hangouts and Zooming and all those kinds of things. If you would prefer to have a screen connection with me, can definitely do that kind of a thing as well. But please get a hold of me, especially if you've been looking to talk to me or wondering, hey, is he going to call me soon? Call me. You don't need to wait. Be proactive. So I just encourage you to reach out. Anyways, I wanted to kind of cover a couple of things which I know were mentioned some weeks ago, and I know that many of you are not coming into the building at this point, but there's a few of you that are volunteering and are coming in to either help us do a live stream. Some are coming in to clean, some are coming in to attend some other matters on the property, and just with the laws and directives and things that are in place, we honor Christ by honoring them, and it's really not about whether or not we agree or disagree at this point. This really is simply just a matter of honoring Christ this way. So I encourage you to really try to be on the same page here. But in terms of on our property, we can't gather publicly. There are a couple of different private things that happen here, such as the live streams. Sometimes there may be another small meeting here and there, but again, those are all scheduled, and there are certain measures that have to be taken in order for that to facilitate that here on the church property. First of all, it needs to be 10 or less people. Okay, we can't have more than 10 people congregating. Second of all, if you got COVID-19 symptoms, and pretty much everybody knows what they are: shortness of breath, fever, or a cough, especially any of these things that are new. I know a lot of you have allergies. I have allergies. Okay, but if you have a new cough, or if you have something that just doesn't line up with any of those things, and it really seems to be a COVID-19 thing, use common sense. Stay home, okay? That's one of the things. Wear a face mask. That is something that we do as much as we can here. There's a couple exceptions, like if one of us is here for a while and we're grabbing food, of course we take it off to eat, or doing the video like this. I mean, you see this on the news all the time. You'll see this in the briefings that the state does. They will remove, face masks just for these kinds of things. So, but yeah, we keep distance when we do this, simply because we do want to keep people safe. So, but yeah, we wear a face mask. The other thing is, keep 6 feet or more social distance as best as you can. And sometimes it's a real challenge depending on what we're doing together. But for some groups, maybe if you have a group that's smaller and you want to schedule a meeting and it's less than 10 people, and we give the okay on that, and you come in here, you may need to end up meeting in the larger space as opposed to the Grace Cafe room because of space requirements and just spacing of people and being able to keep those distances the way they need to be. So that's one of the things that we're going to be doing. Also, just frequent hand washing, and I'm sure you guys are already doing that. And then if you've been within 6 feet of somebody who is known, like as in like they've actually had an actual medical diagnosis of COVID-19, like a positive test, or they're presumed positive, and you were within 6 feet of this person sometime in the last a couple of days or a couple of weeks, you really should be doing a temperature screening on yourself at home before you come here. And we're not concerned about any and every temperature. It needs to be 100.4 or higher. Okay, so we're not concerned about 99, 99.5. That's not the kind of fever. That's not a fever, and that's not the kind of temperature thing that we're too concerned about. But this is, again, if you haven't had symptoms, but you know you were in close contact with somebody who does actually have it. And when I say somebody who does actually have it, I don't mean somebody who's actually better from it, because there's the majority of people who've had this virus have recovered, and we are so thankful for that. But somebody who currently has it and is currently kind of going through all the symptoms, and they're not, in that state where they're well and allowed out of isolation yet. That's what these restrictions are for. Okay, so now in terms of returning from COVID-19 or from quarantine, so let's say that, and this is for somebody who's actually sick with it. So it's not, oh, I was sick with some other illness. It's not, oh, I was feeling poorly. Like, how do I know whether or not to return? Well, above all, you should be talking to your own healthcare professional and working that out with them, because they will give you some really clear guidance there. But the Centers for Disease Control and medical personnel in general, I did connect with the medical pros in our church, and we spoke about this, well, through email. But this is, these are some of the guidelines that they give, and these are pretty solid guidelines. The first one is no fever for at least the last 72 hours before you kind of go out in public. So in the last 5 days, if you've, 4 out of those 5 days you've been fever free, but the day you did have a fever was yesterday, then you do not meet this criteria, all right? And also part of this criteria is you cannot be on fever reducing medicine or medicine that has an effect of taking your fever down in any way, shape, or form during that time. So if you can look back over the last 3 days and say, hey, I've been fever-free, but you were also taking medicine that can have an impact on reducing fever, that doesn't count, okay? So the criteria here is pretty clear from the doctors that put all this together. The second one is the other symptoms associated with the virus, and the other major symptoms are shortness of breath and coughing, that they've greatly improved. Okay, so there's been a significant improvement there. Now, one thing I would say is that if you still have a really significant cough, you definitely, if you're coughing up a lot phlegm, and it's a pretty rigorous cough, if you're coughing very often and you're just kind of coming out of COVID-19, I think you'd be wise to continue to kind of shelter in place and to keep yourself in isolation, simply because the number one way the virus spreads is respiratory. Contact surfaces, it's possible, and that is there, but respiratory is far and away number one. So again, if you really continue to have a significant cough, you should give yourself a little more time to heal before exposing the public to you. The other part then, it needs to be a minimum of 7 full days since your onset of the initial symptoms of the virus. And for most people who actually get sick with the virus, that's easy, because most people are kind of down and out for the count for much longer than 7 days with this thing. So, but those are some of the major requirements there. One of the things that I did find on the Pennsylvania Health websites is they were also recommending, on top of this, that really the first 3 days you come out of isolation. So if you kind of are meeting all these criteria, you've spoken with your local healthcare professional, you meet all these criteria. So in that case, you're no longer somebody who is presumed to have the virus in the sense of being able to communicate it to other people. They're not going to let you go back out unless they're pretty confident that everybody else will be fine. So if you meet all these criteria, yeah, we'd love to see you out and about, and that would be great. But they do say you should probably mask up 100% of the time, at least those first 3 days. And this requirement was probably written before they asked everybody to mask as much as you can when you're out of the home. So, but in any case, those are the health and safety measures that we have. You can actually pull up the fact sheet yourself for those who are sick or who are overcoming this virus. There's a much more extensive sheet there, but that's kind of one of the major sets of requirements for those who are trying to determine, am I going to kind of re-enter and get out, go to the store, and do other things like that again. So if you are looking for other updates, which I don't think you are, there's a web page for it, the CDC's page. And then finally, just wanted to end with this. Please, please, please stay connected to each other. I encourage you, try to tune in to our YouTube channel, try to tune in to our Facebook, and get on our webpage. Our webpage, I mean, it's our front door, as a church. And I just encourage you to check it out. If you've got feedback on it, if there's something that you think we could change or update or make better, I'd always love to hear that. That would be great, and so you can expect our Facebook, or not our Facebook page, but our website to kind of be going through some revisions on a weekly basis. So because it's going to be a revolving door of just different information and different things that are going on. So I encourage you to check that out. Thanks for tuning in, and I do look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. Well, at least you'll see me anyway via the stream, and I do hope to be able to connect with you all again. And again, please reach out to me over the phone or one of these other means that we have of connecting remotely if you would like to connect. I miss you all. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.